Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and I wanted to create a video for those of you that are either about to start a longer water fast or you're in the middle of a water fast and maybe you're losing some momentum, maybe you're trying to remind yourself why you're fasting again. So what I did in this video is I walk you through from the moment you stop eating all the way through 5 days, what is chemically happening in your body so that you can understand how ridiculously miraculous this body is and what a gift you're giving yourself. Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and I wanted to go through hour by hour with you guys what's happening to your body while you're fasting. So many of you are doing all different kinds of fasts, and when you're in the thick of a fast, it's so nice to go back to the science, to go back to the knowledge and understand why the heck you're fasting. So this video, what I wanted to do is walk you through what's happening to you when you start fasting. From the moment you start fasting all the way up, we're gonna go up till all the way till about 4 days. What's happening at 4 days? I wanna walk you through the chemical changes that are occurring. So let's start off with this. If you're new to fasting, let me just say that inside of you lives this intelligence. And this intelligence is always working in your favor. It always wants to heal you. But when we eat, the intelligence has to put its priorities to digesting food. And so when we are constantly eating 6 meals a day, what ends up happening is our energy, this inner intelligence, is always working on the immediate situation, which is digesting food. But when you take food out of the equation, now there's this whole chemical reaction that's going to occur in your body that most of you have never been taught about, and you're learning now on channels like mine, and you've never even experienced. So I always say take food out of the equation and just sit back and watch what your body does. So let's start off with this. When you eat a meal, if you're eating a high carbohydrate or a high protein meal, you're gonna get a really big insulin spike, okay? And it's gonna take about 8 to 10 hours for that insulin and that glucose to start to come down. Now, if you eat a lower sugared meal, less carbs, less protein, your spike's not going to be as high, and your insulin is going to start, and glucose will start coming down a lot quicker. But basically what we say is that we start counting the fast the moment you stop eating. Now, to benefit all the benefits that I'm about to tell you, to speed that up, if that last meal you have, if it's lower in carbs, lower in protein, you're gonna get to all these great chemical reactions a whole lot quicker, okay? So let's start off. At about 12 hours from that initial meal, something called growth hormone kicks in. And growth hormone is really important for those of us as we are aging, because you stop getting growth hormone after about the age of 30. And growth hormone helps you build fat, it helps you burn fat, it helps you build muscle, it slows down the aging process. Kids have a lot of growth hormones. As we age, we have less and less of it. After 30, you have less. But when you start doing fasting on a regular basis, your growth hormone is gonna kick in about hour 12. So those of you that have an intermittent fasting lifestyle know that every day you're going 13, 15 hours. The research is showing that you can get upwards of 1,300% increase in growth hormone just from like 12, 13 hours of fasting. So this is why so many of us love that intermittent fasting lifestyle. Okay, so that's around 12 hours. Now, at 13 to 15 hours, what's happening is your body's starting to sense that no more food is coming. And it's going to try to move from burning energy from sugar, and it's going to work to move over to burning energy from fat. This is what those of you that want to lose weight, this is the switch you're trying to make happen. Now, if you are fat adapted, about 13 to 15 hours, you're going to make that switch over. And the way that your body tells you that the switch has happened is through ketones. So you'll start to see your ketones going up. Ketones are a sign the body's now in this fat adapted place. So, and ketones are healing. So even at about 0.5 is what we're looking for, that we want to start to see that we've got a little bit of ketone production. And know that the more ketones you have, and I'll talk about this as we go through the different days, but the more ketones you have, the more healing that's going to happen in your brain, in your cells of your body. So that ketone production starts about 13 to 15 hours, okay? Now it's 17 hours. This is where autophagy is kicking in. So autophagy is where the cells are going, okay, the blood sugar's going down, we're not getting more food coming in. I think I'm going to go search for food somewhere else. And it turns within the cell and it will start to eat the toxins within the cell and start to detoxify itself. This is why we love autophagy. This is why so many people come to fasting, because there's this self-detox effect to it. That starts, they say that the sweet spot of autophagy, where it starts, is about 17 hours from your last meal. And it will continue on really strong from the research that I've seen all the way up to 72 hours. So autophagy is like, think of it like at 17 hours, the autophagy switch gets turned on, and now it's on. It will max at about 72 hours. But you know, it's still going on. It's not like it ever dies. It's like that switch just gets turned on. So now you're at 17 hours. You've got growth hormone switch turned on, you've got autophagy switch turned on, and your body's starting to learn to become fat adapted, and it's starting to make more and more ketones. That's just at 72. Okay. 24 hours. The research that I've seen, this is really where there's so much magic that's happening that nobody's talking about. So we love the 3-day water fast for stem cell production. We talk a lot about that. But did you know at 24 hours, there are 3 major organs that are starting to repair and are going to start to really go into an accelerated healing state. So if you want to repair these organs, you want to do more and more 24-hour fasts. Okay, so at 24 hours, you are, from MIT study showed that your intestinal stem cells are starting to regenerate. So leaky gut, candida, anything where any SIBO, any digestive issues that you might have, you want to throw in as many 24-hour fasts as possible. Now, remember, it's the switch. So the switch is happening at 24 hours where you're getting those intestinal stem cells. If you keep fasting past 24, those intestinal stem cells are going to keep repairing. Okay, 24 hours, something else is happening. There's a protein called BDNF. BDNF is fertilizer for the brain. So at 24 hours, your body starts to create more BDNF. BDNF is going to go into the brain, and it's going to find those neurons and dendrites that are degenerating, that are causing you memory loss and lack of focus and making you depressed and anxious, and those dendrites that help you with learning. At 24 hours, when BDNF goes up, it's going to go into the brain and it's going to start to repair those neurons. Just at 24 hours. So you're 24 hours in, and you're getting intestinal stem cell repair, you're getting autophagy, you're getting ketones that are happening, and now you're getting neuron production, BDNF, that's starting to repair your neurons, okay? Now, the other cool thing about BDNF is when it starts to go up, so does serotonin. Serotonin goes up. Now, serotonin's really awesome chemical because it makes you happy. And so if you can hang in there, usually around 24 hours, you'll start, you're getting that serotonin production that's starting to increase. So that's at 24. So that's gut, that's brain. But we also are knowing from research that at 24 hours, your CRP levels start to go down. So CRP is inflammation. So at that 24-hour mark, inflammation is coming down. And we also know from research that your blood pressure will start to go down. I've done videos on blood pressure, so make sure that you go and you watch those videos on all the different ways you can bring blood pressure down. But again, we're only at 24 hours I haven't even gotten to the 72-hour mark. So that's all happening at 24 hours, okay? So just with 1 day of no eating, you're getting growth hormone, autophagy, you're getting intestinal stem cells, you're getting more serotonin, you're getting brain fertilizer, and your inflammation's starting to come down. Now, remember, all of these are like switches that have been turned on. So the longer you stay in the fast, these switches don't get turned off until you start to eat, okay? So just remember that piece of it. Okay, second day. So now let's say you're going somewhere. I like 36 to 48 hours. To me is a really good sweet spot for those of you that want to lose weight. Because now your body's really kicking in and going, we're not getting any more sugar. We're not getting any more glucose coming in. So I'm going to go find it in the stored sugar that I stored years ago. So 36-hour fasts are fabulous for those of you that are weight loss resistant, because it's about at that mark that you're really forcing the body to go and find the stored sugar and fat. At 36 hours, your ketones should start going up. And as your ketones go up, that signals GABA production. So if you're in the second day of your fast, you might be feeling a little dizzy, you might be feeling a little woozy, but what I want you to realize is that as your ketones, look at that meter. This is why we love that meter. Look at that meter, because as your ketones are going up, so is GABA. And as they get higher and higher, you're going to get more and more of a calm feeling. We also know on that second day, because you've got so much BDNF that's starting to be released, that neurons are regenerating in the brain. So if you are looking to help with memory loss, brain fog, all of the brain repair is really heightened on that second day. It might not feel like it. You might feel like you want to go to bed. That's great. Go to bed. But know that repair doesn't always feel good. Like, what's a sprained ankle? A sprained ankle is your body repairing itself, but it doesn't feel great. So that can be day 2 of a water fast specifically, can be a really tough time. So go to bed early, let your body heal. You'll be happy you did. Third day. Okay, on the third day, this is where stem cell production is really starting to kick in. Now, if you're really fat adapted, you're very metabolically flexible, you may hit this early in the third day. Some of you, it may take you all the way till that 72-hour mark for those stem cells to kick in. And the primary stem cell, based off of Walter Longo's research, that kicks in on that third day is your immune system. So this was what made fasting such a mainstream way of life, is we figured out that Walter Longo figured out that old white blood cells that are no longer useful for you will be recycled and regenerated 72 hours after in a water fast. So if you're looking to boost your immune system, you want to go that 72-hour mark. We also know you're getting more stem cells. So a lot of people that we've seen in the Resetter group, a lot of people that we've seen in my clinic, we get them into that 3 to 5 day water fast area, because that's where you're getting all these stem cells. They're going to repair musculoskeletal injuries. You've got BDNF repairing the brain. You've got ketones that are helping bring up your neurotransmitters. But if I can keep you there between 3 and 5 days, now we can spend day 4 and day 5 in maximum repair, maximum stem cell land. So it's those first 3 days that get all these chemicals initiating. And then beyond 3 days, you're just living in a longer healing state. So it's up to you how long you want to stay in that state. That's really your personal choice at that point. But there you go. You can see from the moment you stop eating all the way to the point to that third day, there's so many chemical reactions that are taking place. And I'm going to leave you with this last thought. One of the other things we know is that as you go through this first 3 days, because you're not getting that dopamine response of reaching for food, that you're recalibrating your dopamine receptor sites. We also know that when you're forcing your body to go find stored sugar, it initiates something called gluconeogenesis. So somewhere in that second and third day, you're getting this real burst of antioxidant metabolites that happens from gluconeogenesis. So go back, you can watch the videos that I did on anti-aging on that. But miraculous. It's literally miraculous. So hang in there. If you're like day 2 of a water fast and you're watching this, go back and watch it again. Miracles are happening inside of you right now. And it's truly an incredible gift that you're giving yourself. If you guys want, I created this thing called a fasting benefits chart. If you want an hour by hour chart showing what's happening while you fast, just put fasting benefits chart in there and we'll make sure you get it. And if you want to dive into the science of fasting deeper, join me at my reset experience. We're going to do a live event and bring all the fasting and detox and microbiome experts together, and we're going to teach you how to create the ultimate fasting lifestyle for you. Hang in there. You're doing your body good. And as always, I hope that helps.